Let's be quiet, audience.
I'll just wait for these guys to be quiet.
It's recording, by the way. Which?
Alright, so today I'm gonna tell you guys how the death penalty is bad, and it's really expensive and inhumane. I think that none of you in this room could live with yourselves knowing that because of you, a man died. Because you stood over him and gave him a shot. A shot that took Michael Lee Wilson's 26 minutes to die. And I quote, he said, "I can feel my body burning." That's 26 seconds that he had to sit there and suffer and wait for his life to end, all because of a crime. There was another case like this in Ohio. Dennis McGuire took 26 minutes to die after he was given the shot. That was supposed to kill him quickly, but it did not. It caused him a lot of pain, and he had to wait there until he also died. All he could do was sit there and hope that the pain would end and his life would be over. Can you imagine the pain that these two men felt after being given the shot that was supposed to be quick? The death penalty both the shot was supposed to stop their blood and slow their heart down so it would kill them. But as I told you, these two men had to suffer for 26 minutes. Thank you.
Oh. There are 32 states in the U.S. that agree on having the death penalty. The other states abolished it and do not give the death penalty. The death penalty is a very debated topic on whether to not have it or to have it. Some say the death penalty is cruel and inhumane and is not how we should treat the inmates that did the capital crime. But do they realize why the inmates are in there, or how they committed the crime, murders, or how they destroyed the victims' families' hearts? We support the death penalty and think it's the best and safest way to kill a person who did a capital crime. Reasons why. There's really no pain. The reason why inmates do not feel pain because they are given non-lethal injections before the actual lethal injections take place. How we know they feel no pain? Because there are several heart monitors and the doctors are there and inspect what's going on. And the other reason, it takes care of people. It takes care of people that did the capital crime and gets them out of jail. And it also provides closure for the victims' families and friends. Thank you.
Was that the introduction? Mm-hmm. Okay, now we can go to 1 minute.
Okay, so the Supreme Court ruled that in 2002 that people with mental illness and retardation should not be subject to the death penalty, and this was an article from CSIS. The Supreme Court may be the last hope for retarded murderers. But as far as the extremeness of the crime, only rape and murder are as extreme as it will get unless it is an accidental murder, in which the process of a robbery or something else like that. But if it was an accidental murder, it may be pardoned. Thank you.
Okay, so like Tyler said, there are 32 states with the death penalty, which is over half the U.S., and the death penalty is not just given for any kind of crime. It's committed, or it's given for a capital crime, and to get the death penalty, you have to have killed someone. No one has died on death row since 2008 for non-murdering matter.
So, according to the Death Penalty Information Center, the average time between the sentencing of death and the actual execution in 2012 was 190 months, or almost 16 years. United States Constitution states that there should be no cruel or unusual punishments. If waiting for nearly 6,000 days to be either strapped to a flesh-burning electric chair or otherwise injected with drugs that slowly and painfully shut down your body isn't cruel and unusual, then I'm not sure what is. Thank you.
A person is not sentenced to the death penalty unless the evidence is reasonable and enough to prove that they actually committed the crime. There are multiple ways a person could be executed, but the main one is lethal injection. There's also electrocution, firing squad, and a gas chamber. The gas chamber isn't used unless there's really no other options. That's from Tyler Davis in the Death Penalty Center.
For the lethal dose, for the trial and the dose, it's $1.26 billion just for the death penalty trial, and then it's $83.55 just for the price of the drug at first, and now it's over $1,200. Thank you.
Christian was saying earlier how it was just one crime and they shouldn't give them the death penalty. But he doesn't realize that that one mistake took a life or did a very bad crime. And it's not like the person who did the crime was too young to realize. Because in order to get the death penalty, a person has to be 18 years of age or older, and that should be old enough to notice the rights and wrongs. Death Penalty Center, Information Center. Thank you.
According to a SIRS article called Innocence, 39 of the people executed are thought to have been innocent, including 14-year-old George Stinney, the youngest person ever to be executed. Freddie Lee Pitts, who was released from the Florida death row for a crime he didn't commit, states that you can release an innocent man from prison, but you can't release them from the grave. Thank you.
The federal government and all states use lethal injection as their main source for executions, and that's from SIRS, and people do not feel pain when given the injection because they are put to sleep before they do the lethal injection, and that's from Death Penalty Information.org.
What Tyler said earlier about murder, about killing the murderer, is that when you kill that murderer, does that make you any better? Thank you.
Death penalty doesn't just get handed out to anyone who did a normal crime. It's for the sick-minded people that do harsh crimes, and it keeps them off the streets to prevent any other crimes from happening again. And mainly, it's to keep killers off the street. Suzanne asked about the death penalty. Okay, so here are some facts about the death penalty. Many countries use the death penalty from anywhere from the USA, Yemen, Vietnam, Japan, China, etc. There are about 60 countries who agree on using the death penalty. The best part about the executions is that there is no pain for the inmates and it's easy death. Thank you.
BalancePolitics.org says that the taxpayer cost of the death penalty is several times more cost than the life imprisonment, which is just as effective as the murderer is still kept in complete isolation from all human contact except for the police that's bringing him the food. The website also asks, why kill people who kill people to show that killing is wrong? The prisoner's family also, this isn't a rational thing, but it's possible that the prisoner's family will seek revenge for the government, which could lead to terrorism, which would put like thousands of people's lives in danger, like what happened on 9/11.
Are you guys ready for conclusion? Okay.
The death penalty has been around for a long time. It was used when there were few prisons in colonial America. Presently, the death penalty is almost exclusively for the crime of murder. The person who commits the crime has to be over the age of 18 or is considered unconstitutional for the death penalty to be used. It is a reasonable punishment for several reasons. The people that committed the crimes, bad enough to be considered for the death penalty, could possibly commit another crime. Life without parole is an option in some states, but given a life sentence for murder, they could also cause problems in prisons, which could lead to even more injury or death. Evidence has to convince that the person committed the crime before they are sentenced to death. The ways that they are executed are as humane as they can be. Injection is the main way and the most humane. If a person is receiving the death penalty, has damaged veins in their arms, possibly from drug use, the injection might not be the right option because you wouldn't be able to get the needle in, and it could delay the effects of the injection. This is when other ways of execution are used.
Alright, the death penalty is a violation of the Eighth Amendment, and it is a very expensive way to kill someone, because you have to go through the government and everything. And it is a very cruel punishment, because it does take a while for that person to die, and they can feel pain, because like what I said earlier, the man said that he could feel his body burning, which took him 26 minutes to die afterwards. And like Lance said, you can't let a dead man go.